This is the entrance of the Shivaji Maharaj Museum. Here we have a quote of Sri Aurobindo, which I find is very important, and it defines this museum. I am the infinite energy which streams forth from the eternal in the world and the eternal in yourselves. I am the mother of the universe, the mother of the worlds, and for you who are children of the sacred land, Arya Bhumi, made of a clay and reared by a sun and winds, I am Bharati, Mother of India. This is the first building I did. Why? First, because this museum is dedicated to Shivaji Maharaj. I think that Shivaji Maharaj was a vibhuti. He was a divine being that came upon earth to defend India, and thus we honor him in this temple. Now, this statue was made in Pondicherry. It's cast in solid brass. It's about 800 kilos, and it represents Mother India, Bharati, giving the sword to Shivaji Maharaj to defend his motherland. This temple was inaugurated by Sri Sri Ravi Shankar 4 years ago, and as you can see here, we have the maps of integral India, and all around we have the eyes of the mother of Pondicherry, because I met her, she was my first guru. It's a unique temple. There are none others like this in India, and I must say I am very proud of it. I think the concept now in the West of museum is that they are temples of knowledge. This museum is a temple of knowledge, and it's dedicated to the great Shivaji Maharaj. So this is the second building of the Shivaji Maharaj Museum, and it's probably our most important exhibition. It's about the life of Shivaji Maharaj, beyond caste, beyond religion, beyond parenthood. And we show him here as a hero for modern India, because we think that his qualities of tolerance, of courage, of secularism, of good administration, of non-corruption are very essential for modern India. These are all original paintings. Our team of painters in Jaipur to do a black and white sketch. Once the black and white sketch is approved by the professor, by myself, then the painting is done. You can see that each painting is signed and dated. It's a unique collection of paintings. Here's one painting of Shivaji Maharaj having a vision of Mother India. You can see that the demon is devouring the country, the body of India, and that Mother India is asking Shivaji Maharaj to rise up. So this is another unique exhibition. It's on Aurangzeb. As you know, Aurangzeb is portrayed in most history books, both Western and Indian, as a hero, as a very stern but just emperor, under whom India blossomed like never before. So we wanted to show Aurangzeb as he was, because of course Aurangzeb was Shivaji Maharaj's enemy, and when Shivaji Maharaj was alive, Aurangzeb was ruling most of India. So what we did, we got hold of Aurangzeb's firmans, his edicts, and we showed him as he was according to his own orders. If you can see here, the title of the exhibition is Aurangzeb as he was according to Mughal records. So we've used his own records, which are preserved in the Bikaner archives and also in Hyderabad, to show him as he was. And actually he was a very cruel emperor, not only with Hindus but also with his own family. He beheaded his own brother, he imprisoned his father, he imprisoned his son. And when he wrote his will, he said, never trust your sons. There was a particular scene which was recorded by a French doctor that showed that Hindus protesting the jizyas were trampled upon by Aurangzeb's elephants. It's a real scene that happened. So again, our professor in Jaipur did a brief for the painter based on that scene, and once we approved the black and white sketch, then our painters properly painted the scene of Hindus being trampled by Aurangzeb's elephants because they protested the humiliating jizya tax. This is a real scene that happened. So this is one of the paintings of the Aurangzeb exhibition, which was inaugurated in New Delhi by Dr. Karan Singh and Mr. L.K. Advani. As you know, Aurangzeb broke most of the many temples in India, and among them the Kashi Vishwanath temple in Benares. These are other temples in Benares. So this is the order, and this is a translation by a professor, that demolition of the Hindu Madhav temple at Benares. So our exhibition is only based on these historical facts, nothing else. So this museum is about honoring the heroes and heroines of India. I am married to an Indian, happily married, and I know that women in India played such an important role. Yet today, if you look at the Western press, look at the NGOs, they keep highlighting, that women in India are raped, they are caste problem, they are burnt. So we wanted to show that they're great heroines in India. And this is an exhibition about Ahilyabai of Indore. As you know, Ahilyabai of Indore was adopted by the king. She was not of royal blood, and yet she was an extraordinary woman. She was a great queen. She had a battalion of women warriors. She fought herself, and she built many temples in Dharamsala. So if you see again our team of painters in Jaipur showing Ahilyabai of Indore. This is Ahilyabai, when the king saw that she was an extraordinary being, she was in the temple and just adopted her. The Dalai Lama came to inaugurate the second part of our museum, and on this occasion we put a statue of the Buddha, because Buddha is one of the great avatars of India. And also we wanted to honor all the Shivaji Maharaj followers who are Buddhists and Dalits. So hence we have the photo of Ambedkar behind Buddha, and this is a shrine, this is a Buddhist shrine. As you know, Dara Shikoh was the eldest son of Shah Jahan and the preferred son of Shah Jahan. Aurangzeb was only the second son. If Dara Shikoh had become emperor of India, the whole history of Islam, not only in India but in the world, would have been changed. Unfortunately, Dara Shikoh was beaten by Aurangzeb and beheaded for apostasy. So we wanted to honor Dara Shikoh, and as you see again, we have a series of beautiful paintings done by our historian and our team of painters that shows the life of Dara Shikoh from his birth till his death. The inheritance of Dara Shikoh of Sufism is very, very important. The entire world today would like Sufism to come back. But unfortunately, what we see is the hard Sunni Wahhabite type of Islam, which has taken over not only Pakistan, but many parts of Islam in the world. We hope that the legacy of Dara Shikoh will come back to the world. My quest for this museum started when I was covering Kashmir as a correspondent for the Figaro newspaper. And I saw that the Hindus of Kashmir were not only killed, but they were chased out of the valley, and they lost all their ancestral lands and property. Thus my first exhibition was on the Kashmiri Pandit, the Kashmiri Hindus. You can see now it's exhibition which was inaugurated by Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, and that we opened in Delhi, and it traveled all over the world, including to the US Congress. This is a very important exhibition because India is the only country where Hindus have become refugees in their own country. So hence we have a pavilion specially dedicated to the Hindus of Kashmir. My good friend Tapan Ghosh in West Bengal is the only one who stands for the Hindus in West Bengal, an Indian state which are swamped by illegal Bangladeshi immigration. We wanted to show what this illegal Bangladeshi immigration is doing to India in terms of Islamization, radicalization, and the Hindus becoming minorities in parts of West Bengal and also in Assam. It's a tragedy, and I think the government of India needs to do something very radical. We wanted to honor the Tibetans because, of course, Tibetan Buddhism comes from India, and His Holiness the Dalai Lama recognizes that, and is grateful also that India gave refuge to the Tibetans in Dharamsala. That's so we had the Dalai Lama inaugurate that exhibition on Tibetan Buddhism and the debt it has towards India, both in terms of historical debt and also debt of being refugees in this country. This is a beautiful exhibition, and the Dalai Lama inaugurated it in 2013, and it's permanently now exhibited in our museum. The foundation of every history book, both Indian and Western, is the Aryan invasion theory, whereby Westerners, white people coming from, the people say Western Russia, invaded India and imposed on the tribals and the original Dravidian people the Hindu religion and the caste system. This has been proved totally wrong, scientifically totally wrong, and yet it is still the foundation of every history book. Thus, we have an exhibition here by Frenchman Michel Danino, who is the foremost expert on the Aryan invasion theory, to show that the Aryan invasion theory never happened. Yet, it is still dividing India, and we can see that politicians in India are using it. Missionaries are using it by telling tribals, you are not Hindu, you are the original inhabitant of India, convert to Christianity. This is totally unacceptable, and here in this museum we are showing that the Aryan invasion theory never happened. Maharana Pratap is another hero of India, which has a very small place in most history books. In fact, he is known in northern India and Rajasthan, but totally unknown in the south. Yet, he was the only Rajput who fought the Mughals. All the other Rajput princes, all the other Maharajas made peace with the Mughals by marrying their daughters and giving them gold and paying them. Now Maharana Pratap is the only one who fought Akbar, and we wanted to show him because like Shivaji Maharaj, he was a great hero. He lived very simply, he never lived in a palace. He was very firm and very just with his soldiers. He was a friend of the tribals, and he was a friend of the arts also. We also wanted to show that maybe you can have a look at this painting, that Emperor Akbar, who is described in most history books as a very good emperor, and no doubt he was better than Aurangzeb, was also in his own time very cruel with the Hindus. There were 30,000 Hindus, as you know, who were massacred in Chittor, and Akbar was very, very cruel, especially in his young age. So we needed to correct that impression too. Of all the women in Chittor, because they knew that if they were taken by the Mughals, either they would become slaves and they would be raped. So they just committed suicide by throwing themselves in the fire. This is the entrance to the building of the Hindu Holocaust exhibition. Hindus today continue to be the most tolerant people in the world. And my heart goes out to Hindus. Whatever their faults, because they have many faults also, they're extraordinary people, and they're the only people left today who have that knowledge, which is so important for the world to survive. What is death? What is life? What is rebirth? What is karma? What is dharma? What is an avatar? What happens after you die? What is the soul inside you? The discourse of Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita is the Bible of the world today. And this museum is also dedicated to that knowledge. We would like in that museum to show this knowledge, how it was assaulted in a most savage manner throughout history, even today, and how it has survived uniquely, because all the other knowledges in Egypt, in Greece, Mesopotamia have died. If you see Egypt today, also they had a wonderful knowledge, but it's all gone now. It's only in books and museums. This knowledge is still alive in India. Thus this Hindu Holocaust exhibition, which I'm going to show you now. It's the only one in the world that shows the Hindu Holocaust. Now, the biggest Holocaust, the biggest genocide in the world history is that of the Hindus. It has been calculated that at least 100 million Hindus died from the time of the Hindu Kush. Hindu Kush means, as you know, the killing of Hindus when Gauri took 500,000 Hindu slaves on the Hindu Kush in winter, and most of them died from cold. Now, we chose to call that exhibition Hindu Tolerance Over the Ages, because though the Hindus suffered so much, they kept their tolerance, they kept their faith, and they kept accepting other religions. From the time of Muhammad of Ghazni till Mumbai 9/11, till Kashmir, how the Hindus have been hounded and killed and massacred and tortured and raped for more than 1400 years. I'm married to a Sikhni, and so I have a lot of respect and regard for the Sikhs. They are people who are courageous, enterprising, fantastic bodies. So we wanted to show the sacrifice that the Sikhs have done from the time of Aurangzeb till today. The first Sikh gurus were persecuted by Aurangzeb, and today the Indian Army, Sikh soldiers are playing a very important role, even after the surgical strikes against Pakistan in this month. We see that the army chief is a Sikh again. Now, what I also wanted to remind the Sikhs is that they were born to defend the Hindus. Actually, Sikhs are Hindus who decided to take up arms so that they could defend the faith of the Hindus, the knowledge of the Hindus. This is our latest exhibition. It's nearly finished. It's about the Portuguese Inquisition in Goa. Now, I don't think ever there was an exhibition. There have been books that recorded, the atrocities that the Portuguese did in Goa. But never before was it exhibited in such a manner. So we show the arrival of the Portuguese in India, how they were welcomed by the kings in Kerala and Goa, and how they abused this welcome by starting torturing the Jews who were taken refuge in Goa, and then later not only the Hindus but the Muslims also. The Muslims also were persecuted by the Portuguese, their mosques were destroyed, and they were hanged or burnt or crucified. Thus, this is the first exhibition ever on the Portuguese exhibition, and I'm very proud of it. Okay, this is our exhibition hall with only TVs. The idea is that we play film and PPTs and animation films so that students connect more to the Shivaji Maharaj Museum. Here, one of the TV, you have Mr. Narendra Modi, who inaugurated the first exhibition on Shivaji Maharaj, and we had an event in Bombay from which Mr. Modi came specially. And there you can see that all the TVs are playing different things. Here is a film on the Kashmiri Pandits made by Ashok Pandit, which shows that today they're living in refugee camps, even today. Here, the same film in Hindi. Here is the inauguration of the Bharat Mata temple, myself and my wife. And here we have a film on the killings, on the Mumbai trains killings in 2011. So this entire room is only TVs, and we actually plan to have a room which is much bigger and where there'll be only TVs playing, and eventually touch-screen TV where students can tap on an exhibition and look at the exhibition, or tap on a film. This technology is not yet available in India, but eventually I will bring it back from France. I'm just now writing an Indian history in French with the latest discoveries on the proto-history, prehistory of India, totally new findings about the genetics, about the anthropology of Indians. And this is one of my books. It's already 10 years old, A Western Journalist on India, which was published in Delhi. This museum should be here in 100 years, and this is why I'm building it, so that it lasts, it outlives me, and it is there for generations of Indians to come and see. And Pune is a city which is very central to India. It's in the center of India, so it's accessible to all. It's a city of Shivaji Maharaj, who's a great, great, great hero, and should be a great, great hero to all Indians. So when I got this land, there was no water. The previous owner, there was a Jain ashram here, and they abandoned it because of lack of water. So the first thing I did is do water conservation. And this pond here is the monsoon water that was collected during this particular monsoon. And we have now water conservation. We have enough water. I dug 2 wells, 400 feet well, planted a lot of trees. You can see it's very green. So we would like this museum to be ecological and have a lot of solar power and conserve the water and use it in a very efficient and wise manner. So this beautiful place is the top of the land of the museum. It's 5 acres and it slopes down to the building that you have seen. This is where the future museum is going to be. Now, this I would like to be a state-of-the-art museum, air-conditioned, with amphitheater, with a cafeteria, with a reception, maybe 3 stories, capacity to have at least 30 to 40 exhibitions. I never got this kind of money yet because we're talking about, $500,000. And I'm waiting for the businessman or for the government who will be ready to sponsor such a project. As I said, history is a very delicate subject in India, but we need to look at it. We need to see Indian history, the good and the bad, and ultimately it is the good that will prevail, because it's a country of beauty, ancient country of tolerance, of knowledge. And this museum will be like a temple. I hope I can finish it while I'm alive. And it will be a temple of knowledge, and it will be there for centuries to come. And people will come here with their children, learn about the history, the good and the bad, and still come out feeling happy and joyful. So the Shivaji Maharaj Museum of Indian History, Pune, as a team, we have here you can see Mr. Rao, the caretaker, Mr. Mukund, the coordinator, Mr. Swapnil, the supervisor, and we have also gardener and ladies who clean and security. Every month we have about $1,200 of salaries, and this money is not always easy to raise actually, because both myself and my wife continue with our work. I'm a journalist and writer and she's a designer. So this is our seva. And now it is a little better, but in the beginning every month we used to worry how to get the money for the salaries, where to raise it, and go to people, meet industrialists. So we appeal to you because this is a noble project, this is an important project, and this is something that is done for the Hindus. It's a museum of the Hindus, for the Hindus. And the Hindus is not a religion, it's a spirituality. It's a universal spirituality. So if you contribute to this museum, you're contributing to a very universal and compassionate and all-encompassing spirituality. And this is where your money will go. And as you know, we have US, UK and Indian tax exemption. We have registered trust. We are all above the board. We have tax exemption, as I said. We have FCRA. We have chartered accountant both in Delhi and Pondicherry who are doing all our accounts. So it's a very proper trust. So this trust is asking you that you trust us. Thank you.